stuff. It's all gone. They got rid of it. They got rid of it all.
And for what? To save a couple bucks.
Tax exemptions.
If you haven't heard what we're bitching about, as you know, WB canned a bunch of their animated series.
The Fiends.
And they have confirmed that another one, at first they only wrote off Batgirl and I think the Scoob movie for tax reasons. And now they're also writing off Final Space, which was a damn near completed show already. All 4 or 5 seasons already released. And they're just gonna wipe it from existence for tax reasons.
Getting rid of all of it.
Awful. What an awful state the industry is in.
Those whores. Specifically them, yeah.
Yeah.
This industry's like not great, but they're not doing it any favors.
They're like, they saw Netflix fucking up and they were like, watch me.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. They're not just canceling production of Final Space. They are erasing the entire show off the internet and they are ceasing all production of physical copies of it.
Yeah, they're just like throwing it in a trash can and lighting it on fire.
Yeah, like it never happened.
Terrible. Fuck those guys.
Oh.
I hate it here. Can't have shit.
Same.
What? Life goes on, as it does.
Perhaps.
We can have other stuff, though. And you can have episode 45 of Your Ridiculous.
That's right! We're not going anywhere.
Nah, as much as Rain might try to get rid of us. I am Luke, one of your hosts. With me, as always, Wolf, your other host.
Ooh.
The two hostess with the mostest.
That's right.
Except for Tyra Banks. She is the most.
I'll take your word for it.
No Rain this week. We're going to try to get her on one of these episodes.
One
I know
day.
Nobody misses her, but that's okay. I miss making jokes at her expense and then her being here to react to them.
I know. She's going to miss out on being in a Lord of the Rings thumbnail.
I know. And there's no greater punishment than that. She'll miss out on getting piss boots.
No! They're gold!
Ah, yeah. That's what they all say. Your little Minecraft piss boots.
No!
I got some sweet, cool kicks, though.
Your blue Air Force Ones.
My knockoff Air Jordans. Dollar store Air Jordans.
Fantasy dollar store Air Jordans.
True. As we've been hinting at last week, we covered episode 3 and 4, The Rings of Power.
Yeah.
And this week, which was mostly just that, this week we're going to be talking about Netflix's new anime. I'm not going to say newest, but relatively new, mostly new.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Woo-woo! A Studio Trigger original.
Yeah. Oh, I love those guys at Studio Trigger.
They deliver.
They did. And second topic, we're finally going to be talking about the Pear Controversy.
Yeah.
That we've been delaying for a couple weeks just because how juicy all the episodes of Rings of Power have been.
I know, no space for it.
Yeah, but finally we're making the space. We're fitting that pear in there.
Oh, about time.
Oh, bars from me.
New Eminem.
That it's all right. I am white. I can take his place. And then lastly, as always, a question of the week from the elusive Rain.
Yeah.
And with that, Wolf, why don't you tell us a bit about Cyberpunk Edgerunners?
All right, yeah. Cyberpunk Edgerunners came out a little over a week ago at the time of recording. It is, as you know, Cyberpunk 2077 is developed by CD Projekt Red over in Poland. They were the big Cyberpunk game that kind of flopped on release, but as of now, they have apparently fixed up the game completely, FNAF style. And it's really fun and playable now. I have it. I don't think I got through the prologue. I spent maybe an hour making my character, and I started the prologue, and then my game crashed while I was at the strip club, and then I just never went back to it.
What? So, was your character at the strip club, or you were at the strip club and you just had your game open?
My character was at the futuristic strip club.
A very important distinction.
Indeed.
How old is your character? Are you allowed to be there?
I assume they don't question me.
Sus. No carding at the door, I see. How was was the character creation really in depth?
It was indeed. You could choose your dick size to an extent.
Oh, Wow.
You can be as hung as the fucking Matador lady in the ad everyone was kind of mad about. But you can have like a small dick or an average sized dick, even though it's labeled as quote unquote big.
They're lying to us.
I know. Misled me.
Fibbing. It's like they got all their data off Tumblr profiles.
Nah, if they did, we'd have a horse cock.
Well, so how much does the Cyberpunk Edgerunners show align with Cyberpunk 2077?
I mean, it's set in the world, but it doesn't at all. It doesn't have any effect on the story in 2077. It actually set the year before in 2076.
So it's all new characters then.
Yep.
Okay.
Mostly. Almost
Mostly?
entirely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the only reused character is Adam Savage.
Adam Savage. Adam Slasher.
Adam Slasher.
Adam Savage is the guy from Mythbusters.
Oh. He haunts. Yeah, he sits in the back of my brain. That's the only reason I know the name.
As he does. Adam Savage is a cool guy. Adam Slasher, yeah, making his great return. I, for one, have not played Cyberpunk 2077, as when it came out, I did not have a computer, but now I might play it. I've heard a lot of good things, so now it might actually be worth playing without it crashing.
It was a fun game when it wasn't broken.
Yeah, and now it's much less broken.
Indeed.
Which is great for those that are a fan of that game and everything. But, I don't think we want to go over every episode, but just why don't we do overall thoughts of the show right now?
Oh, it was amazing. It's only 10 episodes, but they use those 10 episodes well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It focuses on the main character, David. David Ramirez.
Martinez.
So close.
Yeah.
And his journey, his lifestyle. He starts off, he's poor, obviously. Most people in the cyberpunk world are poor. That's kind of how their society functions. You're either poor or you're a corpo.
Or you're a less poor person trying to make a lot of money by being a bad guy.
Yeah. And that's what David's mother's been doing to try and get him basically out of this lifestyle. But in the end, she dies in a freak car accident. They get caught in the middle of a shooting, and he's back into the life, deeper than he was before.
A very predictable death.
Yeah.
That was, we'll get into it, but that was my problem with the show.
And, yeah. It sets on him living his life as a cyberpunk, aka an edgerunner.
Yeah, an edgerunner trying to make his way, trying to, get his own. Well, he doesn't start out, but he ends up trying to get his own crew together and making the Muns rising the ladder.
Yeah,
or climbing the ladder.
Rising. You just levitate next to the ladder.
Yeah. Favorite episode.
I think the episode main dies, and then the final episode.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Mine, I think it was episode 3. It's the one where Lucy and David, have that cutscene where they kiss at the moon.
Yeah.
I think that's episode 3. I think I like that one the best.
Simp.
Yeah, the whole, no, it's not because of that scene. I mean, that's a good scene though. Like, animation wise, that was a really cool scene. So that was my favorite scene. But big fan of Studio Trigger. I talked about them before. Especially, I think my main introduction to them was the couple episodes they did for Star Wars Visions, which we did a previous episode on. Really enjoyed both of their episodes in that one, and I'm happy to see them back. I really thought the animation was really good.
Yeah, lovely.
The lighting was my favorite part, which is something I always comment on.
Super beautiful. The glitch effects were always really cool and stylized. You have a billion eyes glitching around everywhere, and also when he's using his power, the effect they use to show just how fast he's moving. Yeah. I honestly liked really all the scenes where they show it to you in slow mo, and then they showed it to you in real time.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah. It was nicknamed the Sandy, the Sandev. Yeah, the sand, his little piece of equipment. Yeah, easily one of the coolest things about the whole show was that scene or the scenes when he used the Sandevison, where it goes like all rainbow, rainbow mode to show the slow down. Specifically, the scene, I think is episode 7, maybe 8, where they do their first job after Maine dies.
Yeah.
And where they have that rookie, Julio, and like there's that huge guy who also has some
on the same level,
right? Some of the same tech equipment, and they like slow the scene down super long, and it's like a minute and a half scene of just slow motion stuff, and then they speed it up at the all end, and it's like 5 seconds.
It's just whap, boom.
Yeah, it was very cool. Well done. They do that a couple times, but I think that was like the best demonstration.
Yeah.
Because it also shows like all his new upgrades as well.
Yeah.
Like that one a lot. That was really good.
Now he gets huge after he starts getting upgrades.
Yeah,
Doubles in
he gets
size.
Large. One large lad. A fucking ox. He's not as big as Maine, but I think Maine was just like naturally bigger as a guy, and he was also an adult.
Yeah.
This guy, by the end of the show, is like 19 or something.
Yeah.
Favorite character, very important.
Rebecca,
yep.
That'd be like a fun. What is yours?
Rebecca.
Oh!
Rebecca's my favorite.
She's pink.
I wasn't predicting yours. I was saying mine.
I see.
Yeah, Rebecca was my favorite.
She's great. She's got. I love her design. I noticed she has like her tattoo on her leg. It just says "dick."
I didn't see that. That's funny. I
had to pause and go back because I was like, no, that doesn't say dick. And then it does.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Did you have a problem with her being so similarly designed to, what's that DC character? Joker's girlfriend.
Oh, Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn.
I didn't even see the resemblance.
Really? So it may have just been more the attitude of like a Suicide Squad, but it felt very reminiscent of a Harley Quinn's attitude and
I can see
sort of character design.
She's very
not unhinged.
Yeah, unhinged. She's got a loud personality. Unhinged.
Yeah. This one definitely felt like more inappropriate, but in a good way. It worked out. I liked it.
Yeah, but I mean, Harley's unhinged. I think Rebecca's probably the sanest one on the damn crew at this point.
She definitely gets like, it definitely feels that way towards the later episodes. When she's like trying to talk to David and everything.
Yeah.
In a like very serious manner, but she's also like 2 feet tall, so
no one's listening to her.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I've seen a lot of simping material from her.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that was bound to happen though.
Naturally.
I saw a lot of people saying like, yeah, this animation's really great, but it's really weird to see Studio Trigger animating naked women.
Their introduction to it.
Yeah.
Trigger loves their naked women. True. They made a whole anime about rejecting clothing.
Well, they didn't put any of that in the Star Wars episodes.
They forbid it.
They're holding out on
this. Disney made them change it. Speaking of changes, did you hear that CD Projekt Red tried to make them redesign Rebecca?
Why? No, I didn't.
They were like, she wouldn't fit into this world the way she looks, which nonsense.
What about her?
I think it's just her height. They were like, she looks too much like a lolly, and I think that's a very, very what's the word? Gratuitous use of the word.
Yeah, that works.
Like she's just short. I would hardly call her a lolly.
A gross overstatement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see some of that. I didn't know that they were the actual like people were talking about redesigning her, but I did see stuff about that on Twitter that people were saying she looks like a lolly.
Vaguely, I guess.
Which, I didn't really get. It's just that the fact that she's short.
Yeah, she's short and she kind of dresses cute.
Right. It's not like how Scylla, the goddess of monsters, is often portrayed.
Yeah.
Because she's a literal child.
Yeah, that's a lolly.
Right. And there's other characters. If you're not familiar with Lolly, Urban Dictionary, that'll help out.
Congratulations on you not knowing.
Congratulations, on not knowing the curse knowledge. I don't agree with the people's sentiment about how she looks like a Lolly. She's literally just short. Like,
she doesn't have like
nothing to
I
it.
guess she's kind of childish, but not in like that cute Lolly way. She's just sort of immature. Even then, more mature than David apparently. She's got some sense in that brain.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I liked Rebecca a lot. Unfortunate ending for her.
Oh my god, I screamed when she died. I was like, okay, final four, and then boom.
Yeah, so we won't go by episode, but I think the my most obvious thing was that Maine was gonna die.
Yeah.
Because that's, if you didn't expect that, you're a fool.
Yeah.
But my problem with it wasn't that he actually did die. It was the fact that it was so obvious, because every single storyline now seems to feel that they need to include the mentor trope. And if you're not familiar with that, it's the trope that one of the characters is like it's typically an older guy, an older male character. It doesn't have to be, but typically. And they bring in the newbie, typically the main character, and show him the ropes. They're also very likable. They're very well written, and they have a lot of advice and show everybody the ropes. And they're the mentor of the group. And then the mentor, some sort of big decision hits this character, and the mentor ends up dying.
Yeah.
Sometimes through the choices of the main character, sometimes not. But I'm just so tired of this trope because I like all the mentor characters, and that's the point.
Slap.
But it's like, can we not keep doing this? A big one was Star Wars with Obi-Wan and Yoda, and that's not obviously where it didn't start there, obviously, but with Star Wars making a huge resurgence over the past several years, it's kind of, that trope itself has made a resurgence. And we have like Dumbledore from Harry Potter and Hagrid from Harry Potter, and Hagrid didn't die, but all the other ones did. And we have the father figure from Arcane.
Yeah, we'll say.
I don't remember him.
Yeah, I forget his name, but it's also fairly common in anime too.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That it's. I think it's just becoming more and more common. And we have, there's a ton to list, but I've started playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and that one, I texted Wolf like an hour after playing, and I'm like, yep, who saw this coming? The mentor dies. Yeah, so I'm kind of just, it was, I liked how Maine died.
Yeah,
I just thought,
setup.
Right, the setup was nice. I just thought this whole trope playing out was a bit overdone.
Indeed. Shame to see.
However, I thought the best way for him to go out was Dorian kills him or he kills Dorian. Because of his cyber psychosis. Or cyber psychosis. And it worked out that way. I kind of would have preferred Dorian killing him.
Yeah, like he's too far gone, gotta put him down for her own safety.
Yeah, like, exactly. For the crew's safety, for his safety, for everybody. But he ends up just murking her in the head.
Oh, yeah.
Did you scream at that scene?
I did. No? I was a little slow on the uptake, getting emotional with this scene. Because I was like, okay, so Maine's dying. But then Dorian died, and then I just seeing the cyber psychosis from the inside. Because the outside, they're just going on a violent rampage. On the inside, he's like flashing back to, I guess, maybe a younger him. Just like running away from it all.
Right. Yeah, trying to get out of his previous life.
Yeah.
Get away from everything. It definitely made the scene more emotional.
Yeah.
Which is nice because I think a lot of people, or at least I did, really liked Maine.
Yeah.
I just thought he was like, he's a bit hard exterior, but on the outside he really cares about the people in his crew, really wants them to be safe and taken care of and everything like that. And that's great. And so you develop a bit of an attachment to Maine, and then they just take him away from you.
Swipe him away. No, he wasn't the first to die.
It's true, but who cares about that other guy?
Yeah, I can't even remember his name. Rebecca's brother. Pillar with his long ass arms and his golden hands. Yep. All he had to do was leave the damn guy alone. Keep walking.
He wanted to antagonize the psycho pissing off the side of the container.
And got his head blown off.
So I really liked how they set up Pillar's death, because it was instant. There was nothing to... I mean, maybe you could predict it with him antagonizing this guy, but the scene was maybe like a minute long, and he died instantly. So I thought it was nice to see that it leads you into the idea that the crew is not invulnerable. Which was great.
It's especially sudden because we know that they are on some level kind of bulletproof, so that just one bullet just took them out just like that. Throws you off.
Yeah, if you have a lot of, they call it chrome, but like cyber enhancements, you start to resist a lot of attacks and metal and bullets and stuff like that. You need like specialty bullets and everything.
Yeah.
So, and this guy just got insta blown up, and then Becca went off.
Yeah. Shit aim. Couldn't hit a single shot.
True. Well,
too upset.
I was gonna say she's too upset. So I think besides those two, the like most notable thing that happened was basically the end, right?
Yeah.
Like episodes like 8 through 10.
Pretty much.
Arasaka and kind of combined with Kiwi.
Arasaka.
I guess not Arasaka. It's the
guy with four eyes, technically. He's got the three on one side.
Faraday.
Yeah, Faraday.
Who is trying to get a contract with Arasaka, so he hires Kiwi.
Yeah, he fucked up his old contract, and now he's trying to get back in good graces.
Well, he was originally with Militech.
He fucked up that contract.
And then he fucked up that contract, so now he's trying to go with the other people and, strikes a deal with Kiwi, who I thought was a really random betrayal to me.
Yeah, it's like she just betrayed him for the sake of betraying. Like, I told you not to trust anyone. Fuck you.
And it seemed like if they had just continued as a group together, they would have been more beneficial. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I was kind of... It was so random. And it didn't even last long. Yeah,
she could have gone, hey, Faraday's trying to fuck you over. Don't take this job. And then they could have gone on to make even more money on even other better jobs.
Right. Like, they had a good thing going. And they were eventually going to get Lucy back in on the job.
Yeah.
So they would have had 2 Netrunners. And it was...
Yeah, she was on her own side mission, but she had plans to come back.
Yeah, it seemed just like such a weird... That was the main thing besides like the trope about that was one of the main things I didn't like, was story-wise, was Lucy's betrayal. Or not Lucy's, Kiwi's betrayal. Because that seems so random to me.
Yeah, like, and she had reasons to betray. Fucking, what's her face? Maine punched her out. And I thought she might have been close to Maine, so maybe she felt some type of way that David was like the one in charge now. But he was super respectful to her and shit.
Yeah, David tried to keep the crew together.
Yeah.
In respect to Maine, and do things the way Maine did it.
Yeah.
And
so just ridiculous.
It seemed like it was going well on their first job. They lose that one random, but who cares?
Yeah.
He kind of killed himself, so.
And charged forward.
I know. So yeah, I didn't care for that, but.
And then it gets her killed, and she doesn't even get paid.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like one episode that she's like betraying them, because she ends up calling Falco.
Kiwi, don't trust anyone. Also, Kiwi trusts this random corpo that's fucked him over before.
Yeah. And then, sort of the final episodes, we get hinted that, or basically told that if David keeps using his equipment, he's gonna become Cyber Psycho. But he's like, no, I'm built different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinks he's Adam Slasher.
Indeed. He's all turned up, and he's both freaking out from like various traumatic incidences, while also he's just going super hard on the chrome and the cyber upgrades.
Yeah. And the cyber skeleton makes it like even worse.
Oh yeah. I was funny seeing that finally come back around. Cause like I think it's like episode 2, the school is like, oh, we need to get David back here, and so we can test this thing or for some reason.
Yeah.
And then he keeps ignoring their call. He's like, go fuck yourself. I'm not interested in your school. And then it finally comes back around why the fuck they wanted him. And it was to test this new military grade cyber skeleton.
Yeah. It all circled back eventually. And turns out he could only handle it for a little while.
Indeed, he is like getting pumped full of like the green juice to like bring him back to reality.
The neuro blockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he fucking drank down like it was G Fuel. And then he gets obviously bonked by Adam Slasher.
Yeah. Oh, he saves Lucy. That's important.
That's his, important. Like, mingle. That's the only one he managed to save.
Yeah, he's juiced up on that shit. Manages to save Lucy, and I guess the driver.
Falco.
Yeah,
I really liked him. I wish I saw more of him.
Yeah.
He came in after Main's death as a driver for the crew, and I wish we just kind of got to. I wish he was in there from the beginning. He was cool.
Yeah, they're a friendly, loyal driver.
Falco, by the way, is played by Matt Mercer.
Ooh.
Matthew Mercer, who's a famous voice actor in anime and video games, and runs the D&D weekly series Critical Role.
Oh!
He's the dungeon master. He was also Levi in Attack on Titan.
Look at him go.
And he was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as Jotaro. He was in the Demon Slayer movie. So he's a pretty
Who
famous...
is he in the movie?
Kagaya Ubuyashiki.
Oh, wow, he's all over.
Yeah. Oh, he's also in tons of other video games.
Yeah.
He's in The Last of Us Part 2. He's a prison leader. He's in one of the Sonic games. He's a very popular and famous voice actor and everything.
Nice.
In Death Stranding, more JoJo Bizarre. He's in One Piece.
What?
He's in the One Piece Stampede movie as Trafalgar Law. I don't know who that is. Anyways, very ubiquitous and famous voice actor. Really excellent. Yeah. The other one I also, and this is actually what made me look everybody up. What Giancarlo Esposito is Faraday. Very famous voice. He was Gus from Breaking Bad. Ooh. If you're familiar with that, he's the big baddie. He's also I can't remember his name, but the evil guy in Mandalorian, if you saw that.
Did not, but.
And so he's kind of, he's going
the
up
villain
and up.
Voice.
He's an excellent villain. He's such a good, he mostly does actual acting, not voice acting.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see him do more voice acting just because his voice is really exciting to listen to.
Ooh.
I thought it was great. But all of that, we can now talk about the sub and dub version of it. Because I think that's interesting to talk about. So why don't you go ahead? Yeah,
sub and dub. And when it comes to sub versus dub, I default to sub by default because I just don't trust dubs. They ruin it 99% of the time.
Well, we had this discussion before.
We have. I think that was a double down or maybe a ridiculous rant.
Yeah. One of the two. Possibly both.
But, yes, I watched mine sub. But I have heard some very good things about this dub in particular, and that kind of makes sense. The nature of the source material means they use a lot of slang and swear words, which doesn't quite translate well to Japanese. And I did hear bits of the dub in TikToks and such, and it does sound pretty good.
Right. So I can give a little insight on this. So I watched the first first episode and a half as dubbed. And so I didn't even realize it. I didn't even think about it. But then I'm like, oh wait, I bet this is probably sub.
Yeah.
Right. I bet it's probably, I can watch it and it's probably better this way too. Because I also, as for those watched that previous episode, prefer it as well. Naturally. It's just better that way. And so I swapped over for maybe 3 episodes or so. The problem I found, and I eventually went back to dubbed, because the one thing about this was the subtitles all work perfectly until they start taking a call. Which happens quite often, and then the subtitles become exclusively listed on the call.
Yeah.
And they talk about it in English, and I'm sitting, when I'm watching this, just far enough away that the colors and the text, it was kind of hard to read.
Oh.
Because the subtitles are white and larger.
Yeah.
But then when the colors of the text, they're often neon to look like the digital font and everything like that. So
yeah.
It got a little hard to read. But if you switch over to obviously when it's the dub version, it's all in English, and the English text is still on the call. So if you can read it from whatever distance you're at, it worked out.
Yeah.
And I will say, I have not liked previous dubs. I did like this one quite a bit. I thought it was well done. The slang made a sense. All the voice acting was really good. The slight issue I have with like the final 2 episodes, I don't know if it was translation based or just if it was trying to show that everybody was like going downhill mentally or whatever, but a lot of words in the text just kept repeating themselves. Like Kiwi and the conversations between Kiwi and Faraday had a lot of like weirdly arranged sentences.
Yeah, I think it was because maybe there was something wrong with Kiwi.
Right.
I did notice that in her talk with Lucy too. There's a lot of stuttering in the neon text too.
Yeah, and the neon text of the call matched up with the audio that's projecting out, and I just thought that was a little weird. I'm not like quite sure why that was. It was only in the later half of the episodes.
Yeah.
So it was just a little weird. That's not so much about the actual dub, I guess, as it is more the choice for the episode. But overall, this is if you would rather watch a dubbed, this is a good dub to watch.
Yeah.
And if you're skeptical about dubs, this is a good one. But also, it was good sub too, so
yeah.
Naturally, so both ways, it was enjoyable to watch.
What a show!
Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of more glitchy stuff, watching David like slowly lose his mind. The camera and animation choices were really cool. Like there's one, we basically go into his mind and he's like walking around the city like he does in like the beginning, but it's empty. The city's empty. It's just him. Oh yeah. And he's walking around, and then he ends up in like the middle of the street, and that's where it transitions back to reality. The car zooms through his like made up self, and he's back in the action. That was towards when he's using the cyber suit. Yep. Really like that. All the cyber psycho scenes were like really well done. From both perspectives, on the outside and like looking at him, and then what their perspective is. It was really cool. Yeah. Thought it was all really great. And there's a couple of the scenes, again, towards the end, where that cyber psycho is happening from both perspectives, but David's also using the Sandevistan. Yeah. So it's with the cyber skeleton. So it's like all the metrics are happening all at once, and each animation version, or each version of the animations are like uniquely different, and you can tell what's going on. Yeah. Like it was really well done. All the fast-paced scenes sometimes can get clogged or a little murky to tell what's happening, but I thought that the Studio Trigger did a great job distinguishing all the scenes, all the important parts. Yeah. Nothing's muddied. Yeah, no, everything was great. I do have one minor it's actually kind of somewhat of a big complaint, actually. So, the first, and this is part of me scoring the show as well, episodes 1 through 5, probably a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Really, really excellent. Episodes 6 through 10, I thought were like a 6 or a 7. What? Yeah, I know. But the first 5 episodes went so smoothly. It was so easy to watch them. Then Wolf and I did the same thing. We watched the first 5 episodes, took a break,
and then later on at some point watch the remaining episodes. And it was so easy to watch the first 5 episodes. I zoomed through them. The last ones, I'm like, especially like the last 2 episodes, I was like checking my watch to see if I was like done.
No!
And I'm just like, oh, I can't watch this. And the part of the problem was it felt like the final episodes were just a rehash of what Maine went through. It felt like it was the same story being told, just now it's David. So, you know, David gets picked up by the crew. Maine is mentoring him and he starts to go psycho. And then, you know, that's sort of, I think that's episode 6 where it ends. And so 6 wasn't bad, but especially 5 and lower were great. And then the final bits, 7 through 10, are basically David souping himself up just like Maine, saying he's not going to go psycho, falling in love with someone, which kind of happened before, but especially now, and then becoming psycho. Like it felt like it was a lot of the same stuff. The surrounding material with the other characters was great. Really, like, besides the Kiwi betrayal, ignore that part.
Yeah, that was whack.
The rest of it was great. David's death was really nice. Well, hinted death.
Lucy's side story was interesting.
Yeah,
Unexpected, but interesting.
Yeah, it was definitely unexpected, but I liked it. It was nice to see or hear more about her. Obviously, Rebecca and Falco were really good. I just felt like the main point was a rehash of the first couple episodes, and it was really weird to me.
Well, I mean, in the end, David didn't go full cyber psycho. He saw Lucy, and that brought him back. And in the end, he was killed just because Adam Savage was sent to kill him.
Yeah, but could David have not just left?
Adam would have let him left. David stayed behind because if he went with them, Adam Savage would have just followed them all and killed the remaining 2.
Okay, but wasn't the point to reclaim the suit?
For who's?
Wasn't Adam Slasher's? You said Adam Savage again, by the way.
God damn it.
Adam Slasher's goal to reclaim the suit?
I think his goal was to kill David because he had beef with David.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then.
And plus, he killed Rebecca for no fucking reason.
Sure, true. He did just stomp on Rebecca's head. I agree. The outcome or his actual death was he wasn't cyber psycho. He got back to his old self basically, but the leading up to it all was essentially the same. And I thought that point was just hard to watch because I just saw this. Oh, you're a fool. You're a fool. I knew you were going to argue with me. I'm not upset. Well, I'm not upset about the having watched it all to the end. I just think the middling bits of like episode like 7 through like 10 and a half, or like halfway through 10 was like just medium.
Maybe it is a bit repetitive, especially since it's like it starts to follow kind of a cycle of just Rebecca goes, David, just take a break. David goes, no, I'm gonna be fine. He does something, and then he's not fine.
He's clearly not fine. He's just like Maine. He ignored Maine ignored all the symptoms and problems, saying he's different. He's not gonna, he's gone through too much work. He's put in all the time and hours to soup himself up, and then he goes psycho. The same exact thing, and David watched it happen.
He did.
And then David went out essentially just like Maine did. The only difference was Lucy brought him back at the very end, but that doesn't change anything. If he was cyber psycho or not, he still would have died the same exact way.
Right. I mean, I just kind of see it as intentional, because he's just like, he's living Maine's life now. He's living his mom's life, and he's living Maine's life, because they both died trying to help, David. Because he's just kind of going through the motions.
Right, but so my problem with that is the mom and Maine died for nothing, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, what the only thing that was really accomplished was Lucy went to the moon, but she would rather have gone to the moon with David.
Yeah, I mean, I see it just as like a hopeless story. I kind of expect it to be a hopeless story, because then the OP ends up just getting shot in the head.
Sure. I don't want this story to end happily. Right? This is not a story that's going to have a major happy ending.
Yeah.
And I think that, I'm fine with David's death. I just think the two characters were too similarly portrayed with how they got to the final point.
I see.
I think David, having seen everything that happened to Maine and how it happened, wouldn't have fallen down that same path. And I think that part is what annoys me, and what made it a little difficult to watch or not difficult, but slightly boring to watch through some of it, because it was really repetitive.
I think what David needed was a therapist.
He did. He didn't need. He needed a therapist, not Doc. Him and Lucy really just needed to go to like couples therapy.
Yeah. Spend less time getting built, more time talking about your feelings.
I am glad that it didn't end happily though, because I think if it had a major happy ending, it would have been bullshit.
Yeah.
So
it would go against the thesis of Cyberpunk.
And what is that?
That's all kind of hopeless. Like even in the game you play, it's hopeless.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So hopeless as to like what? To the idea that the corporation is not just going to control everything?
Yeah. Like there is no escaping. There's no leaving this life. There's no getting better. There's no there's no defeating the corpos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially since in the end, the corpos are the ones paying them to do all these various missions.
Yeah, very true. It's like corpos paying them to counteract other corpos.
Yeah. In the end, what brought them down was a corpo mission.
Exactly. So not the only thing, but the one death that hit really hard was Rebecca's. Yeah. I was bummed about Maine's, but it was very predictable. So that was not as hard, but Rebecca's was disrespectful. Yeah. Adam Slasher just landed on her.
Fucked her up. She was having a moment with Lucy and everyone's gonna be happy.
Yeah.
And nope.
And it just stomped her like a Goomba in Mario.
Adam Slasher, he's gained himself a lot of enemies. See a bunch of TikToks of people going back in the game and just like brutalizing him. Cause he shows up in the prologue effectively.
Oh, really?
He's one of the first things you get the option to kill.
Oh my god, is he really difficult in the game?
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah. He's strong. Adam Slasher. Oh, and they added items from the anime into the game.
Ooh, what'd they add?
You can get David's jacket, you can get Rebecca's gun, which is hilarious because there's so much kickback on it, because for her, there's a bunch of kickback because she's tiny. But in the game, they gave it the same kind of effect that you can jump off the roof, like the tallest building in the city, and then at the last second, just shoot the ground and you'll live.
Oh my god. I will say, David's jacket is pretty cool.
It's iconic. Lucy's wires in there too.
Oh yeah, nice. That was cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing how everybody tricks themselves out with like different weapons and stuff.
Yeah, different styles of fighting.
Yeah, it was very cool. So, overall rating, what do you got?
9 out of 10.
Okay. I have a couple different ones.
Whoa, wow.
Episode 1 through 6, 9 out of 10. Episode 7 through 10, 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Collectively, it's an 8 out of 10.
Wow.
I think. I'll merge the two. 9 and 7. We'll go 8. But if it was, I think they slumped a little bit.
Maybe.
I think so. Let us know on Twitter, in the YouTube comments, anywhere, on Instagram, if you agree with our rating, disagree. Everybody's probably going to disagree with me saying it's great, because I do think it's a great anime. Definitely recommend it.
Anime of the year.
No, but
what's it up against? What's it up against?
I'm not familiar enough with the other ones, so I
don't think it's up against much this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't heard you talk about much else, which means what else is there? So, right?
Yeah, I guess this next season could knock it out of the park.
Perhaps.
Because that's when everything's coming, but...
Yeah, I have heard a lot of good things about upcoming stuff. But we'll find out. A fall anime list is coming, an episode of You're Ridiculous near you.
Oh, yeah.
So tune into that one. No date yet, but it'll be soon.
Soon-ish.
Ish.
Before you know it.
Yeah. And yeah, with that is Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Woo!
Solid. And why don't we get right into our secondary topic, the Pear Controversy.
Yes, yeah. Sounds absolutely silly, but it's more FNAF drama.
Oh, we love to hear it.
Indeed. So I've told you about the Fanverse, right? The Fanverse initiative?
You have, yep.
Do you remember the details?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was an episode.
There was. So, a new fan game. The main players in the Pear Controversy is Ramanov, who is the developer of Five Nights at Juniors, which is basically just released within the month.
Yeah.
There is Ultra Knight, the developer of Chompers, another fan game. Actually, don't know much about that one. And Mechless, who are the developer of Project Readjusted.
Ooh.
All FNAF fan games.
Yeah.
And the pair was how they referred to the Discord group that they and a bunch of people were in, where they would basically share and exchange leaks. So leaks about other FNAF fan games, such as Pop Goes, which was one of the ones that made it into the Fanverse initiative as well, but also the Joy of Creation Rebooted and Five Nights at Candy's, all of them pretty much, because it was the people who would work on the game, because they hire freelancers, the freelancers share it with their friends and such, etc., etc. Also, they were also sharing personal information, basically the goods that would be used to dox someone. Oh. Addresses, phone numbers, real names.
Yeah.
Apparently they had somehow gotten footage of Scott's wedding. Yeah.
Oh no.
And all that's already bad enough.
Yeah.
But like, maybe it's just like they're just friends sharing things in secret, since they all trust each other not to share it outward.
Sure.
But it was
still sketchy, and
sketchy, and turns out it was quite malicious. As much as the main three I named before deny it, but it was very malicious. They wanted to use this information to like improve their, not only just improve their own games, but I'll add an allegedly in there so they can't sue. They also allegedly
gotta cover the bases.
Intended to use their leaks to like be able to control the success of games, other fan games, like by like if you a lot of times you release a leak and that'll like kill the momentum of a game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so they had all this information, and of course the like personal information that could be used to dock all of these creators.
Oh my god!
If they like stepped out of line or bothered one of these like main three. But someone on the server like finally they went out on Twitter and they leaked the information regarding what was going on in there. So that blew up the first time. And Kane Carter, he's kind of like the middleman between like the Fanverse initiative and Scott.
Okay.
And other FNAF fan games and Scott.
Right.
He found out about this. He made a statement, and he acknowledged like, yes, this exists, and we are only announcing it exists because they threatened to release all this info. So we released our info first.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's just wild.
Like the class. Yeah, it's the classic like, oh, we're not the bad guys. We're releasing this information. It's like, you're only doing that because someone else is going to release it. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but we're the good guys because you're getting it from us.
Yeah. It was huge. Like, there were like hundreds of people in this server. And
oh my God.
Ramanov, developer of Juniors.
Yeah.
It's because of this situation, Scott found out about this. And it's rumored whispered about that they were going to be accepted into the Fanverse initiative, but they were rejected because of this, allegedly. Of this malicious bullshit. Yeah, allegedly.
Oh my god.
Which is why Juniors released for free, and why it's like basically a complete game. They were expecting to develop this really cool game, which I admit, pretty cool game.
Yeah.
And then, just basically, because it's effectively a grant, get the grant money since the game's done, and they just distribute it among themselves.
Yeah.
Well, they don't get anything, which is what they deserve. But it's a shame the people who did work on this, who didn't even know about this, really being affected by it.
Right.
Years and years of their lives of work that they put into for nothing. Because someone wants to be an asshole.
Classic.
Like, who about... what goes through your mind to think that this would be like a good idea, firstly?
Yeah,
But
it's like super shady.
Then repeatedly admit in the group that, yeah, this is so I can blackmail people. Repeatedly. Blatantly.
Well, what's weird is that like hundreds of people were okay with this.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're all being a part of it. Like, surely not, right?
He's not blackmailing me, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, because, you know, if any one of those people said like, no, this is probably not a good idea, you know, there would be instant backlash within that Discord and probably would get kicked out anyways.
Yeah.
So they kind of just like, even if they don't agree with it, they have to like put up with it to be a part of it.
Yeah, and the main guy, what's his name? Ramanov, keep forgetting his name, developer of Juniors. There's no clear reason why, but he seems to have really big beef with the creator of Pop Goes, aka King Carter.
Oh, why?
And because a lot of his like blackmail pile was for Pop Goes. And he was seen in the Discord talking about how much he hates King Carter, how much he wants Pop Goes to fail, all of that.
What an asshole.
I know!
I sure, like, typing that going through your mind is like, surely there's no way this backfires on me.
On a public server that anyone can just kind of screenshot and share. But they wouldn't share that, even though that's the purpose of this group.
Yeah, right. Like, these people are shady assholes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, because of this, it is suspected that the Fanverse initiative might just be ending. Like, he's not going to take any more games.
Oh, ruining it for everybody.
And yeah, it was so like malicious, like we're gonna start this controversy to not only steal other people's game assets, but threaten to leak them so they'll fail, so only I can get into the initiative.
Why is it called the Pear Controversy?
I'm not sure.
Interesting. Hit us up on the socials if you know why it's called the Pear Controversy.
Yeah, like pear. It's spelled like the fruit.
Right. I like pears.
They're okay. I've never had a good pear.
You gotta get them fresh. Canned pears are terrible. Fresh pears
Suspicious.
They're good. They're good. You don't know.
But yeah, that's the Pear Controversy.
Oh, wow. What a shady organization and thing.
I know. Like, you could have just quietly made your game. It's a really good game.
Yeah. And now, like, these people have this, if they want to continue being in the video game franchise and everything, they're just going to be surrounded by this, like, mist of shadism, I'll call it.
Oh, yeah. They've already been low-key blacklisted. Like, they got banned from all the other Fanverse and other fan game Discords, groups, Patreons, everything.
Right. As they should be. And they ruin it for themselves.
Yeah. So what are they going to do now? Who's going to want to develop with them? They're an asshole.
Exactly. I don't want to develop with them. I don't even want to work with them.
Right.
Terrible. That's unfortunate for them and for the Fanverse.
Yeah.
They kind of just ruin a cool thing.
Indeed. Which is so fucked.
Yeah, but
that it is the second case of people kind of attempting to misuse it, though this one was more intentional misuse.
Yeah, this was clearly malicious.
So that's the Pear Controversy.
That is, and with that, we'll move right along to Rain's question of the week. Why don't you read that one off for us?
If you could delete one thing from a fandom for the sole purpose of upsetting people, what would it be?
Okay, so I actually hung out with Rain today. We went to lunch together.
Oh.
Not probably one of your better voices of Rain. It was a little high pitched, but other than that, like the tone and everything was right.
I'm tuning it in.
You gotta get her back on the podcast so we can like refresh the noise.
I know, her mind has left my brain completely.
It's been too long. We just have like the text of our group chat. That's all we got. But yes, I love this question. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I'll go first because I have a great one. What one thing from a fandom could I delete for the sole purpose of upsetting people? I have thought about this so many times, and I just love the idea of this like being a concept just to tilt people.
Oh.
So my not my answer, but the entire question. I think it's funny. But my answer is I would delete Charizard from Pokemon because so many people swear that it is the best starter of all the gens, and I just think they're they're too busy on the Charizard train. They're not
Ruin
giving
their
anything
day.
else a chance. Yeah.
Ruin their year.
Well, they're always like, oh, Charizard's the best. Give him all this. Like, if there's ever any new gimmick, like Mega Evolution or Gigantamax, for those familiar with Pokemon, or all these other things, it's like, this guy needs a unique one. We love Charizard. Go Charizard. You know, and Ash and the main character of the anime had a special, well, sort of a special Charizard, a powerful Charizard.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And I'm just tired of it. No more of this Charizard nonsense. He sucks. He's not even a dragon. He looks like a dragon and he's not. Dragon type,
faker.
that is. Yeah. And I just, first of all, Squirtle is the best starter from Gen 1. I won't hear otherwise. Squirtle Squad, he's the coolest. He's the only one that got to wear sunglasses.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm just tired of it. Charizard is mid at best, okay? He's not even the best fire type, let alone the best starter.
Charizard removal initiative.
Yeah, and I just think it would be so funny for all the Pokemon fans that are obsessed with Charizard if I could just delete him. Oh, and if it wasn't clear, it's not deleting as in like they never existed. It's just like they existed at one point and now they don't.
Yeah.
So you have the memory, but now they don't exist. So I would get rid of Charizard so all the stands can just whine in the corner.
Although they group up on 4chan and they recode the entirety of Pokemon to bring back Charizard themselves.
Well, funny enough, there are a ton of fan games of Pokemon. People love making fan games of Pokemon. They're not like all the 3D ones. They're all the like 2D Game Boy ones.
Right.
But they're really, really popular among the fan base. They love making them. A lot of them keep getting taken down because Game Freak and Nintendo. But
Beans.
For the ones, they also just keep re-uploading them. So, but I would love it if we could just delete Charizard and upset everybody.
Amazing.
Because Charizard sucks. Anyways, what do you have? What would you delete from what
mine, I would delete Bakugo Katsuki from My Hero Academia.
Why?
People are obsessed with him. They're more obsessed with him than they're obsessed with the main character Deku. And the upset, it would swing throughout the fucking world, throughout the whole world.
He's got grenade arms, though.
He's gotta go. He's great, but he's gotta go. That's their punishment.
Wait, so do you like Bakugo?
I do, he's neat.
But you still want to get rid of him?
I don't like the people that like Bakugo.
I can't tell what's better. Is that I want to get rid of... I don't like Charizard. And I don't like the people that like him. Or say that he's the best and I want to get rid of him. Or the fact that you like Bakugo, but you more dislike the people that like him than you do like him.
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
That's so... Yours has to be more petty.
Maybe.
Like, clearly the question is just like, how petty do you want to be to other people? And yours clearly has got to take the cake.
Peak petty.
Yeah. I thought I was going pretty petty just to upset everybody, but you're just like taking a step further. It's like we all have to suffer, but you'll suffer more.
Yeah. Bakugo privileges revoked.
Amazing.
I got a peek of what it would look like if he went away. Because in the manga, they like... He was close to death, but he's a main character, so obviously he wasn't gonna die. But the reaction to the idea that he might have died was ridiculous.
You tasted the sweet freedom.
Yeah.
What would Rain get rid of?
What does Rain watch?
Well, we said we've established that she watches Dancing with the Stars, right?
We have indeed.
So who's the host of Dancing with the Stars? We'll get rid of him. What's his name? I know this. Tom Bergeron. It was originally Tom Bergeron. I think it's Tyra Banks now. We'll get rid of both of them.
Gone. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Tyra Banks. Funny enough, we talked about Tyra Banks at the beginning.
Came up twice.
She's the hostess with the mostest, but not anymore.
Gone.
Take that, Rainy.
Existence privileges revoked.
Okay, you know what? We kind of like ignored the question, didn't we?
Oh.
Why
Why would
she
really
hear
get
something that she likes? Well, too late. Too late. Tom Bergeron, Tyra Banks, say goodbye.
Yeah.
We've canceled you. And with that, Wolf, why don't you take it away?
I'm Wolf, taking things away. Thank you for watching episode 45 of You're Ridiculous. If you liked all that, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Be sure to hit the bell so you get notified of the next episode. Or if you're watching on a podcast website, be sure to hit the plus and give us 5 stars.
That's right.
We hope to see you all again next week, but until then, you can follow us across the internet, the main cast at ridiculous_cast on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow Lucas on Twitter and Instagram as 7AngryWasps with an E. Or you can follow me as Rainbow Wolf without the W.
Unsure about that one.
Had to load. We'll see you all again next week. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.